Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, and today is New Moon Wishes.
Hi everyone, it's Donna Stellhorn and this is New Moon Wishes. We do this class every month. This is the video version of this class, but there's a live version too. If you're interested in joining us for the live version, send me an email at donnastellhorn.com and I'll send you the date and time and the access codes for the class. All right, let's talk about New Moon Wishes. In this class, we're going to be writing down our wishes for this new moon. You're going to need a sheet of paper and a pencil. And while you're getting those, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm an astrologer and feng shui expert with more than 20 years experience, and I have 10 books out. These are just a few of those. Also, I'm going to be giving some classes, both Skype classes and live classes. So I want to tell you a little bit about those. I have a class coming up called Attracting Opportunities Using Feng Shui to Change Your Life. This is a teleclass, and we're going to be talking about bringing in new opportunities using Feng Shui principles. Now, this class is going to be Wednesday, June 24th at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern Time. This class is going to be recorded. This is a teleclass, and it's recorded, so if you sign up for the class, you will get a copy of the recording. So if you can't actually make the class, sign up for the class anyway, because you will be able to hear the class. Now, we're going to be focusing on your front door and entryway. We're going to discuss things like direction, color, artwork, symbols, and special activations that you can do to stimulate the energy. This class is designed for people who can do changes to their front door area inside and out. So if you live in an apartment with an interior or hallway entrance, you may want to wait for one of the other upcoming feng shui classes. So to sign up for this class, the link is going to be below in the description, but you can go to my website, fengshuiforum.com, and click on the classes tab. And then coming up in July, we're going to have a couple of classes. One is called How to Use YouTube to Promote Your Business, and we're going to have an astrology class as well. I'm so happy you've joined us today for the New Moon Wishes class. Let's get started. This new moon is in Gemini, and this period will take us through the summer solstice. This is also called the Cancer ingress, or as you might be familiar with it, the first day of summer. Now, despite what your calendars might say, the sun enters Cancer on Sunday, June 21st at 9:38 a.m. Pacific Time, 12:38 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, on the screen here, I've got a couple of charts. They're actually for the same period, the Cancer ingress, but one is set for Los Angeles and the other is set for New York. Now, this particular solstice is quite intense. It brings opportunities for those who are willing to take bold action, but you have to be flexible when that action isn't bringing the desired results. So this chart, of course, has the sun at 0 degrees of Cancer, but it also has a moon at 29 Leo, square Saturn at 29 Scorpio. And that's a very intense combination. This aspect can bring a sense of loneliness and a feeling that nobody cares about you. But this doesn't actually reflect reality. This is just a feeling that people get when we're experiencing this aspect. So this aspect makes life look worse than it is. Now, this aspect can also bring relationship problems, so be aware. You can have miscommunications, temporary separations, so it's really important to try not to say or do things that you're going to regret later. This aspect can make you yourself or anybody else feel inadequate or feel that all their shortcomings are now magnified and seen by others. Again, this is not reality. This is an aspect and it will pass. This is just bringing our attention to aspects of ourselves that are maybe where we're being too hard on ourselves, maybe where we have our expectations too high of others. So just be aware. Now, this period is going to be strongest from June 21st till about the end of June, but it does really continue all the way till the next ingress on September 21st. But your strongest period is going to be right at the beginning, so from about June 21st to June 30th. Now, there are positives about this aspect as well. You can experience increased self-control and a strong sense of duty. You can feel inclined to take more care and have more consideration in situations, and this can yield some wonderful results. This helps when you are applying for new jobs, when you're moving or getting your house in order. It also can help you create deeper, more meaningful relationships if you're willing to take the time to understand the other person, take responsibility for the problems that are your issues, and also to be understanding when people are discussing their issues. So overall, you can have better connections with friends and family, and you can get a better job and move forward in life during this period. Now, this is also a really good time to build on positive family traditions. So you can do this by exploring your genealogy or reunite with distant relatives. You can also review family patterns and find the good in them. And that means that you can look at the family patterns that are both positive, but also the negative family patterns, because with this, what you can find is that some of the things that happened to you, maybe these things were really terrible in your childhood, actually you've grown stronger because of them. So, for example, perhaps you had a very stern parent. Well, this taught you discipline. Or maybe you had a very lax parent, and this taught you independence. Maybe you had an abusive parent who taught you how to stand up for yourself. Or maybe you had a completely absent parent, and this taught you how to parent yourself. So during this period of time, take a look at the negative things that have happened to you and try to find out how you grew and how you got better because of this. Now, because the moon on this day will be at 29 Leo, a fire sign, it's a good idea to make a list of things about you that you want to release. Find your fears and insecurities and write them on small pieces of paper and burn them. Find a safe place to burn them, maybe a barbecue or, in the kitchen. And then once they're all burned, scatter the ashes in the wind. You no longer need this negative energy. Today we have the Gemini new moon. Actually, the constellation of Gemini is two bright stars named after the mythical twins Castor and Pollux. Castor was the mortal son of the king of Sparta, and Pollux was the immortal son of Zeus, who had seduced the twins' mother, Leda, when he took the form as a swan. So apparently back then, women dated swans. Later, when Castor was killed, Pollux appealed to Zeus to let him share his immortality with his brother, and they became the constellation of Gemini. Now, Gemini rules many things, but most importantly, it rules understanding our world and making ourselves understood in the world. So how we look at the world makes a huge difference in our lives, and how we see things that happen to us helps us decide whether these things are positive, whether they're negative, whether they're going to be useful for us, whether they're going to slow us down. This is all about how we see what happens to us in the world. There's a wonderful book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and in this book she talks about how our mindset colors everything we do in the world. She divides us into two mindsets. Isn't that perfect for Gemini? One is the fixed mindset. This is not connected to fixed like a planet, like in astrology, but it's a mindset that is stuck. The other is called the growth mindset. Now, the fixed mindset sees challenges as a potential for failure that would reveal personal inadequacies to the world. On the other hand, the growth mindset sees the same challenges as potential for understanding what to focus on and what to work on. So one mindset, the fixed mindset, is concerned with what others think, whereas the growth mindset is connected to our own curiosity and our desire to explore and become better. The most exciting thing that DeWitt found is that you can actually change your mindset. She found that even adding the tiny word yet, Y-E-T, made a huge difference. She took a group of students in an inner city school that was underperforming, and she had teachers change how they wrote on the kids' test papers. Where teachers had before written a D or an F, they now wrote not an A yet. This changed how the kids looked at their grades. They no longer saw the grades as proof of being dumb. Instead, they saw them as a stepping stone to become better. The class went from lowest performing class in the state to highest performing class in one school year. If you want to know more about this amazing book, send me an email, or I will put the link down below in the comment section, and so you can get this book for yourself. It's definitely worth it. So how can we use this information to shift our thinking? We're going to go sign by sign, and I'm going to give you a tip based on the Gemini new moon of how you can use this information to help you. Now, as usual, if you also know your moon sign or your ascendant sign, you can use those as well. If you don't know your moon sign and ascendant sign, send me your date of birth, time of birth, and city of birth, and I will send you that information. So let's begin. We're going to go sign by sign. For those of you who are Aries, this energy falls into your house of neighbors and siblings. That means you need to shift your thinking in regards to these people. You might say to yourself, I don't have a good relationship with my neighbor yet. Or you might say, the troubles I've had with my siblings are a sign that we are not where we want to be yet. Taurus, this energy falls in your house of money and possessions. So the shift in this area that you want to make might be something like, I'm not making the money I want to be yet. Or perhaps, because it deals with possessions, the process of decluttering my home is not done yet. For those of you who are Geminis, this energy is in your own sign, so you have the most power to create change in your life at this time. Consider all the areas where you feel that things could be better and start to think of them in terms of not there yet. Look at the rules that you've made about yourself. Are these limiting rules? Were they given to you by others? Are these judgments you made about yourself a long time ago that have nothing to do with today? You may not be where you want to be yet, but every day holds promise that you can move closer to your goals. In every climb, sometimes we slide back a little bit. That's okay. We're not yet to the top of the mountain. But you are on your way. So for Gemini, you can pick anything, any rule, any area, and start adding the concept of yet to it. For those of you who are Cancer, this energy falls in the house of rest and recuperation. This means you need to shift your thinking in regards to your ability to get adequate rest and to heal yourself. You might say to yourself, I'm working my way towards nightly restful sleep. Or you might say, I'm not fully healed yet. For those of you Leos out there, this energy falls in your house of future or future plans. This means you need to shift your thinking about where you're going to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. You might say to yourself, I don't know at this moment where I will be or what I'll be doing in 5 years, but I will know. Or you might say, my future is becoming more clear. It's just not clear yet. For those of you who are Virgo, this energy falls in your house of career. This means you need to shift your thinking about your current job and the general availability of jobs, or maybe your own skill set for when it comes to applying for jobs. So you might say to yourself, I don't have all the skills I need for the promotion yet. Or you might say, the best job for me has not been revealed yet. For people born under the sign of Libra, this energy falls in your house of spiritual connection. This means you need to shift your thinking in regards to your connection to the powers that be, God, the universe. So you might say to yourself, I don't have a good relationship with my angels or my guardians yet. Or you might say, in the past I've felt disconnected, but every day I feel a little more connected to God and the universe. For those of you Scorpios out there, this energy falls in your house of investments. That means you may need to shift your thinking in regards to how to monitor your investments or how you feed your investments. You might say to yourself, $1 doesn't sound like much, but riches are created by adding $1 at a time. Or you might say, I don't fully understand investing yet. Sagittarius, this energy for you guys falls in their house of relationships. That means you may need to shift your thinking in regards to your current relationship or future relationship. You might say to yourself, my partner and I are not as close today as we will be tomorrow. Or you might say, each person I meet brings me closer to meeting my ideal partner. For Capricorn, this energy falls in your house of health. This means you may need to shift energy thinking in regards to your desire to take care of your body and your own ability to stay healthy. So you might say to yourself, I haven't found an exercise I love yet. Or you might say, I haven't experienced full healing yet. For those of you born under the sign of Aquarius, this energy falls in your house of fun. This means you need to shift your thinking in regards to pleasure, time off, and enjoyment of life. You might say to yourself, I haven't found the time for a vacation yet. Or you might say, my enjoyment of life increases a bit every day. And finally, for Pisces, this energy falls in your house of home. That means you need to shift your thinking in regards to where you live or finding a new house. You might say to yourself, every day I feel a little more at home here in this house. Or you might say, we haven't found the right house yet. So now we're going to write our new moon wishes. And we want to make wishes that really work. So we focus on writing our wishes as close to the new moon as possible. So we try to do them within 5 days. Now, if you are watching this video and it's past the 5-day mark, please go ahead and write your new moon wishes anyway. Any energy in this direction helps, but it is strongest if you can write within the 5 days. Now, write your wishes by hand and use a pencil. We use a pencil because we are, with a pencil, applying graphite, which is a crystal, to paper, which is made of wood. So we're using a natural substance and applying it to a natural substance. And so that's why we use pencil. Write more than one wish, but no more than 10 wishes. I like to write on one side of the piece of paper. I always recommend dating and keeping your lists. And I personally keep my wish list, my current list, under my pillow. Now, I take the previous list and I put it in the bedside table and occasionally go through all of them so that I can check off my wishes and see which ones came to pass. Now, we're going to cover wishes for the new moon in Gemini, plus we will do some additional wishes for money, love, and health. So let's start with the Gemini new moon wishes. And so Gemini rules mental abilities and self-talk. So wish examples would be, I want to feel the power of my mind. I want to easily notice how good my memory is. I love this one because oftentimes we feel that we're losing our memories, but I think that we don't recognize at times how much more we do have to remember every day. I mean, think of just 20 years ago. You didn't have to remember dozens of passwords. You didn't have to remember how to use dozens of apps or computer programs or things like that. So I think that our memories these days are exceptional, but we just have much more to remember. So again, that wish example, I want to easily notice how good my memory is. That's a great one. And then another really, really important one for Gemini moon is I want to say positive things about myself. And oftentimes our self-talk can be so negative that, these are things that we would never say out loud to another person, and yet we say them to ourselves all the time. So that's a really great wish to do this month. Now, Gemini moon rules writing, so I want to easily find myself writing my book or blog. So I personally like to write every day so that I keep up that energy, but I set the bar really low for this. So oftentimes if I am super, super busy, I'll just write 50 words. And because I'm writing every day, that helps me feel like I'm being consistent. But if it's a day that's just packed with clients or classes or things like that, 50 words is all that I demand out of myself. Another thing that Gemini rules is effective listening. So this wish example is I want to experience a deep understanding of what my partner believes. I really like that. Curiosity is ruled by Gemini, and so I want to easily find myself being curious instead of afraid. Did you know that one of the best cures for fear is curiosity? If you are nervous in some situations, try shifting it to being curious about who the person is or what's going to happen, and you will find that your fear just melts away. Gemini rules vehicles, so here's a good wish example. I want to easily find myself able to buy the car of my dreams. Gemini rules dance and movement. So wish example is I want to easily find myself going dancing and meeting new people. I was telling somebody the other day that this is the first house that I've had, or first place I've lived, where I haven't danced at home. I usually would dance when I was doing the dishes or dance when I'm vacuuming, but I'm actually in an upper floor. There are people living below me, so I noticed that I'm trying to be really careful so that, I don't sound like a herd of elephants to them. And this has caused me to go out dancing more. So the benefit was that I've been getting out of the house and doing more dancing. So that part was good. Gemini also rules brothers, sisters, and neighbors. And so the wish example is I want to easily find myself having a better relationship with my, and then fill in the blank. And then we have the wish examples that we do every month, money wishes, love wishes, and health wishes. I switch these up just slightly to align with the energy, but it's perfectly fine if you are using a wish that you've used previously, if you really want to intensify that energy. Though, by the way, if you keep writing the same wish month after month after month and you're finding it's not making some headway, consider that there might be a block. And so think about taking one of my classes or having a consultation so that we can pinpoint the block, get rid of it so that you can move forward. But back to our wishes. So our money wish examples here are, I want to easily find myself attracting more money. I want to easily release any blocks I have with receiving more money. I want to easily find myself appreciating the abundance already in my life. I have found this one is really happening in my life since I started to seriously declutter. As I have reduced my wardrobe, reduced paper, reduced all these different things, now I feel like I have an abundance in my life because everything I have I'm using. So it's just so counterintuitive. I have less stuff, and now I feel like I'm more abundant. Crazy. So another wish example is I want to easily and effortlessly find myself asking for the and then fill in the blank, the job, the sale, the appointment. Another wish example is I want to easily find myself hearing of money opportunities and capitalizing on them. Or you could say taking advantage of them if you have trouble saying capitalizing like I do. Now, love wish examples, I want to allow myself to recognize that I'm fun to be with. You know, Gemini has a very fun, light energy. So that's why I put that one into this month. Next one is I want to easily release feelings of nervousness around others. This goes back to what I was saying about curiosity. If you can be curious about people, you know, what do they do? What do they like? What are they interested in? Your nervousness about being around other people will just disappear. And in that vein of thinking, the next one is I want to easily meet new people. The next one is I want to be completely honest with myself about my block to love. And finally, I want to easily find myself with someone who wants to begin a relationship with me. Our health wishes are I want to easily find quick ways to promote quick healing in my body. I think I read that wrong. I'm going to try that again. I want to easily find ways to promote quick healing in my body. Another wish example is I want to find myself easily taking action that leads to my good health. And finally, I want to find that there's been a total and complete healing of my, and then fill in the blank. You have the option to go deeper into this process of improving your life, and I can help you. So I do astrology charts, and this big wheel that you see in the upper right-hand corner is an example of a chart I would use. We can see that this person has their sun in Virgo in the second house. They are Leo rising and have an Aquarius moon. And so these are some of the things that I would talk about. The wheel that goes, so I'm looking at the very center wheel. And then the next wheel is progressions. That's how a person is progressing emotionally. And then the solar arc is that middle wheel, and that's how a person, you know, things that can happen to them. And then that outer wheel is transits, and that tells us about the timing. And so if you've had an interest in knowing what's coming up for your future, if you have decisions to make, getting an astrology chart done is really, really good idea. Now, I also do astrocartography. That's the map that you can see in the lower left-hand corner. Those lines are planet lines, and they would be particular to your chart. And so you can see crossing New York, there's a green horizontal line, and that might be a good line or a bad line, but it's a different line than the orange one going through Hartford, Connecticut. So looking at your astrocartography to figure out what's a good place to visit, where should I vacation, and where should I move? And even if, you know, is the place I'm living now a good place? So that's what astrocartography is. I also do feng shui. You know, I do the traditional feng shui, the form school, which is very much about doing an aesthetically pleasing feng shui. I also help people with colors, where I can tell you the meaning of different colors, and so you can decide then what colors would be best in a bedroom versus a living room versus an office. I do use feng shui cures at times, like the little lucky money cat that you see in the lower left-hand corner. And also, if you're building a house, if you are in that construction place, then we can consult the compass, where we can find out the quality and the quantity of the energy coming into a piece of property. So let me know if you're interested in getting some feng shui done. So now we're going to energize our wishes, and that means we're going to not just use your energy and the energy of the universe, but I want you also to visualize everybody who's doing this on this new moon period that is taking this class, energizing their wish, watching this video. When I add up everybody who is at the live class, getting the download, the MP3, and watching the video, we are now over 200 people every month. So that's a lot of energy that we can pull together to energize your wishes. So I want you to put your hand on the piece of paper, and I want you to use your power hand. That's the hand you write with. And I want you to picture that these 200 plus people are all doing the same, even though they might have done it at different times. I want you to picture that they're doing the same. And I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to feel that you're inhaling the power of the universe. And now exhale. And as you exhale, I want you to blow that energy onto the paper. And I want you in your mind's eye to see that the paper is moving and rustling under your hand, and that it's moving and rustling under all those 200 pages. And one more time, I want you to inhale. And this time, I want you to inhale the golden light of the universe, this abundant energy, this vast, vast universe that can manifest anything we want. And now exhale that golden light onto the piece of paper and watch the paper turn gold. Watch the little flecks of gold fall down on the piece of paper, and so it's just infused with gold. And one more time, I want you to inhale, and this time I want you to inhale the light of the universe, all the light of the stars. And now I want you to exhale, and I want your piece of paper to just glow with light. It's glowing with the light of a star. It feels warm under your hands. It's alive. It is manifesting things for you. Things are easily coming to you, and you're welcoming it. I wish you joy and prosperity. Keep moving forward. Know the stars are lighting your way. Until next month, many blessings.